Big Boy's neighborhood. Agnez Mo in the neighborhood. First off, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
And I would say with all the accolades.
I've been watching you.
You stop that. Go ahead now.
I've been watching you, listening to you. You're the legend. I'm so honored to be here.
Stop that. Stop it.
I'm serious.
That's so sweet.
Okay, you know what? Let me
so
turn my
honored to
mic
be
down
here.
so you can.
Let her tell
I know.
you.
Go ahead. I want to turn my mic down so I don't get in the way of these compliments, please. As you were, Agnez.
You're amazing. You're
Thank
amazing.
you so much. And I do have to ask you, with all the superstardom, right? What are you doing here?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
you tell me
you don't
what
know
am I
either,
doing
huh?
here.
You don't
No,
know
it's
either,
just-
huh? You was like, man, it popped
I've
up on my.
always, hey, you know what? I've always believed that my journey is like a learning process.
Right.
And some of the musicians, some of the artists that I've always wanted to work with happen to be here. So I just thought, you know what? Might as well just try my luck. And
No, I'm not even
see how
talking
it
about
is.
here. I'm
Right.
talking about here and here. You know what I'm saying?
us.
Not here, like not.
Talk to you.
Oh, okay, because I would figure.
I've been your fan.
But I would figure with all the
amazing.
accolades and everything, I would be like, dude, like, why am I going to go see Big Boy?
We have to. Like,
Nah.
I have to. I have to talk to
No,
you.
I appreciate it too. And just knowing what's going down with you, man, it's been a long road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a long road of, the ups and
Absolutely.
downs or accomplishments, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But now that we kind of taking you as ours as well,
Yeah.
does it feel like, okay, like there's a reintroduction and introduction, and then there's also people that know what's going down with you? But do you feel like, damn, I'm introducing myself probably to a lot of people that don't know me or my music?
Absolutely. And it's always been like that ever since I moved out here.
Right.
But I think that, once your mindset is on the right thing, which is, like the learning process and then enjoying the journey, that all of those things, like it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, I actually ended up having broader audience for me to share not just my music but also my message. You know what I mean? And I think I've always been the kind of artist who don't want to just use my platform for my music but also for my message. Growing up, I was born in Indonesia, literally like thousands miles away from the US, where people thought that Hollywood is not something that they can reach. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's a movie. It's not a place. It's not something
it's not
real. And then for me to be able to talk to you right now and to actually have this platform, it's humbling and it's it's encouraging. To know that I'm actually on the chart amongst with these amazing artists. You know what I mean? And then to actually to be able to say to people that, hey, actually your music can translate and transcends more than your skin color and where you're from.
Why does the desire for more? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when someone has so much and worked so hard, why more?
Isn't it kind of?
Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, you let me blow up like how you are, I'm not doing nothing else.
You already made it one time.
Yeah, they'd be like, man,
I think
big.
it's just-
I'd be
it's
like, man.
just- I think it's just how my family raised me. Both of my parents.
Oh, so now she's talking about my family. Y'all see
Ah.
that?
Your family
Now
didn't
she's
raise
saying I ain't
you
got no
right.
upbringing. She's saying I ain't got no upbringing. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
I was raised with wolves and crocodiles. That was a little sneak diss right there. But no, you said that hard work was in your family, or to want more?
No, it's just both of my parents are former national athletes. So they grow up, and the way they raised me, it's always about the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to elevate to the next level. It's never been about the hype. So they never really like congratulate me or whatever for my awards. They always congratulate me for like good job on putting that much work into your craft. You know what I mean? And I think because they complimented the right stuff and not the hype, I became this type of artist who always wants to, okay, what else I can learn today, from
heard
other
that.
people. So it's not just about like, oh, how many followers? Like they don't
Right.
care
Yeah,
about
they're
that.
not thinking you on your followers.
Exactly.
Like,
They're
girl.
like, whatever. Like you got so and so followers, whatever. You're still our little daughter.
How many
You're still-
followers do you have?
36 million followers
On what?
on like social media platforms.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy, man.
Man,
so
well,
Millions?
don't
said
even search my
36
name and find out what I got.
Millions?
She gonna be like, for real, why was I in there?
man.
Like now I figured it out. 36 million social media followers.
Yeah.
What do you tell 36 million social media
Tell them to
followers?
send you $1.
Yeah,
imagine.
she paid. What are you talking about?
Hey, next you don't do
I-
that.
and you know, a lot of people ask me the same question, like, Ag, like, how do you get those, those followers?
Because I was going to ask. but go ahead.
by not focusing on that, literally by not caring about
But
how
you know,
many
it's a
followers
trip.
you got.
I don't focus on it.
Right?
And my numbers are still low. Because you know I don't really focus. She does a lot of her
Hey,
social
we're
media.
gonna change that. How about that? I'm gonna tag you, and I'm gonna tell my fans to blow your.
All right, and then they're going to be with me for like a day. Then they're going to be like, F him. They're going to be like, we did our charity. All right, happy holidays.
we're done.
Overdose. You put that together with C Breezy.
Yeah.
Go ahead now. Chris is I've been knowing Chris for many years. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all boyfriend and girlfriend?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Why y'all make us think that though?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Y'all played us.
Look at this love.
You
It is
played
beautiful.
us.
Now you've
We're
been in the
so
business, and Chris
excited.
been in movies as well. How does one kiss in a video like that
was
without
real.
actually without actually kissing? Because I think he had a hard on. 'Cause if I were to be kissed like that, I'm telling you, I'm a married man. I would have a hard on. Okay.
Oh man.
It was hot.
No,
This
but-
is a clean station, right? So I can't curse.
But the station is clean. The show, you know what I'm saying? The station not so much, Agnes. Yeah. So first off, so you and
Yeah.
Chris Brown, you're not boyfriend and girlfriend.
No.
What about man and woman?
Had you?
Are y'all dating? Because I don't know
Yeah.
if they got like sneak codes and
For
everything.
real?
No,
But, like,
no,
was
no,
there
no,
ever
no.
a moment of like,
No.
oh, I might have a crush, or
Hot
No,
as hell.
it was just like we were just at the in the moment, and
A lot of things happen in a moment, though. Agnes.
Yeah.
you're totally
You know
right
what I'm
about
saying?
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've never
Have you
been
guys ever
boyfriend
been-
girlfriends, and nope.
Have you ever been in the
crush?
studio, like, let's say for like cutting something, like Overdose? You're in the studio 10 hours. And then y'all look and y'all like, oh shit, we ain't recording nothing. Have you ever have you and Chris ever had that?
We made sure that we recorded something.
Hello. Okay. See how she pulling us
Saying
in?
it.
Was it audio?
We
Was it
made
video?
sure that we recorded something.
And then she was like, and then we did some music. But you hear it all the time where people do ask.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And but we've just been focusing on the music, and even when we quote unquote found each other on Instagram, and that was like back 2 or 3 years ago before this project even happened. And one day we just decided to, you know what, let's just play each other's music. We're familiar with each other's music, and let's just see how the vibe is. And we were in the studio, and he had the idea of putting me on his album, his deluxe album. And then we didn't stop there. We just kind of, vibe out, listen to music and listen to beats, and then just started writing together. But there was no business strategy like, oh,
Right.
you're on this label. Oh, I'm on this
Right.
label. Let's put it out because, oh, you're big in Asia. I'm big. You know what I mean? There
Right.
was never that.
Like it wasn't like marketing and
You
like,
know,
oh.
and there was nothing. And I kind of missed
And it makes it
that.
authentic though.
Yeah,
See, right?
exactly. It's like I missed that from music business. I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing this literally my whole life. My first single was when I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
So it's like I've seen all the crazy things happening, and I miss that authenticity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I just
I can
miss
imagine.
just to be in the studio, not thinking about, oh, let's make it more urban now. Oh, let's make it more rhythmic.
Right,
Oh,
this
let's
is-
make
this
it
is
more pop.
international, yeah.
Exactly. Like there was nothing like that. So that's the reason why I feel like we
And that's probably the
enjoyed
reason
that.
why it works as
Yeah.
well too.
Absolutely.
Who reached out first on Instagram?
Chris, you know how he is.
He slid in her DMs.
Yeah, did he slide in your DMs? Was he professional at
on.
first? You know what I'm saying? God damn you, Chris. I'm looking right at you, Chris. Yeah.
He's like,
Chris
damn, girl,
Brown.
you fine
see
and
you.
you're
Chris
talented.
Xavier Brown. I don't even know if your middle name is Xavier, but that's what I'm calling you. I don't know Chris' middle name. Can somebody Google it for me? Yeah, so how did that start? Did he get in touch with you first?
Well, just long story short, we just ended up being in the studio.
Yeah, there it is right there.
There
you know
it is.
what I'm saying?
You're like, all y'all
How,
need to know.
she's like big. It went from however to where we are now.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take you through that long journey, big.
From
you know,
there to
I told
over
you I had my
there.
first.
That's long. That's
like,
too long.
Yeah, I told you I had my first single at 6. Do we want to go all the way back there? Do we want to go all the way back there? You know, what I'm saying? Can you walk around at home, like home, like
Not
with your?
really.
That's crazy.
Not really.
Do your fans miss you now that you are over
Abandoned
here?
them?
You're like, bye,
Yeah.
gotta go.
Now that
do
you
they
made it off of their
understand?
backs.
You know, the cool thing is because I've always included them in
Yeah.
my journey. Even,
Right,
even,
right,
even
right.
when I
They
wanted to
seen the
move out
process.
here, you know what I mean? Like even when I wanted to move out here, I always told them, "Hey, by the way, I have this, this dream. I'm going to
Did
LA
people have
now."
a problem with that early
Oh,
on?
absolutely.
Why?
absolutely.
Like, what was the problem and why?
It's because I think I was 19 years old when I said that, that I wanted to go international. I wanted to win my first Grammy. And then I think at that time social media wasn't big, so you know, it just looked like it's not gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there was actually an article, and man, like I should have kept that, saying that what are you talking, Agnez? Like you're just an Indonesian. So for me to like.
Was that
Wow.
written in Indonesia?
Yeah.
Wow.
So for me to like hear that and just read that as a 19-year-old girl, you know what I mean? It kind of crushed my heart in a way that, wow, like, I mean, not a lot of people, I guess not a lot of people have the privilege to even have a goal. You know what I mean? Like for y'all to even like bash me for thinking out, you know what I mean? For thinking about my future. But don't get me wrong, a lot of people were rooting for me, of course.
Correct.
You know, my fans were rooting for me, and I will always be grateful for that. But my mom always taught me, like, just focus on the people that love you. Don't focus on the haters. Like they're gonna hate you regardless.
Right.
So be the best instead.
I don't think your mom quite said it like that. Did she say don't focus on the haters?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She said haters?
Yeah,
Go ahead
absolutely.
now. She had her hat to the side. She had on her earrings too.
Absolutely.
she-
All them, the blings.
Did she say like?
She's a real savage right there.
I love it.
Yeah. She's a real
How's the
savage.
relationship with your parents? Do they understand what you're doing out here?
Yeah, absolutely.
What-
At first, of course, like they worried.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Of course they worried because I'm the only daughter. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Protective.
Of course, you know. And then I have older brother, and so
Yeah.
he's always been like the protective one.
Yeah, like
right?
Steve, go with her. No. I don't even want to go. I
she
guess.
goes here, though.
Like, yeah. Gotta leave all my friends to go with Agnes. It's always her. You know what I'm saying? All right. Go to fly first class.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been super supportive. But it's been like what you said. It's been a long,
Mm-hmm.
interesting journey. Because growing up in a different culture, the thing is, I'm not just an Asian who's born in, like, I'm not an Asian who's born in the United States.
An Asian American.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I'm not Asian American. I'm actually Asian who was born there and grew up there with a whole different, like, totally different culture.
Tell me what's different that we would like, man, this is the way it is there as opposed.
I don't know. I just feel like, you know, the standard of beauty, right? Like women needs to dress up like this, and you
Here or
can't-
there?
There.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Like woman needs to be more conservative,
Right.
you know, and then you can't show your skin too much.
Damn.
And I'm like, well, shit. Like I got great body. Like why do I not want to show
Go
it?
ahead now.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
hello.
Get it, girl.
But yeah, I mean, like a lot of people were.
She
just,
said a great body.
She was like, hello.
Yeah, she
Like,
didn't say
let
my
me-
body's cool. She
Let
like,
me show y'all what I'm working
Yeah.
Great
with.
body.
Well, I need to get
I'm
over that.
secure about my insecurities.
I
Like
love
I'm
that.
secure about my.
I need to get to Indonesia then. My body look crazy. I'm a cover up king, Jack. You know what I'm saying? I can play the cover up. Okay, so you get here and it's really time to like focus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're like, okay, well, when it comes to an artist, I want to make sure that I blow up here and throughout the world.
Right.
What's that first thing that you do when you touch down?
Man, cause okay, when I was 19-year-old, what I didn't tell you before was that after I read that article, after like all the media were talking about how arrogant I was to even say that out loud, like talk about my dreams out loud, I compiled this huge folder of all the names that I wanted to work with.
Wow.
Like literally, not even like a vision board. It's a vision folder, this thick.
Yeah.
And the first page was Timbaland.
Okay.
Dope.
And then there was
Got
like,
that.
you know, Makiba's name, Esther Dean, you know, Justin Timberlake's, and then now I'm managed by Justin Timberlake's manager along with our partner, you know, Johnny Wright and Screwface.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to them for believing in me. And you know, I worked with Timbaland.
Yeah, Coke bottle.
So it was kind of, you know, it's a little.
Was Chris in the folder?
Chris didn't make that.
If next time somebody asks me that, just
say he was on
Just
top.
say yes,
Just
right?
say yes, Chris.
You know what? Let's just say. Ask
just-
me that again.
Watch this. Was Chris in the folder?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's actually on the second page.
After Timberland.
Yeah.
Got it.
Boom.
Boom.
See how that
Right
comes
there.
together?
Put it out into
See,
the universe.
What were you about to say, Ade?
What made you put Timbaland on that list? And you did accomplish that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just growing up in Indonesia, we have like 20,000, like over 20,000 islands. And we have like, you can expect a lot of different sound, like percussions, especially percussions. So I feel like Timbaland kind of embodies that. You know what I mean? Like the beats and stuff. And he's so genius. I just wanted to work with the best.
Was there someone that you wanted to work with and you met and they kind of let you down?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's going to come.
Oh,
Yeah, it
absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
I already know. But that's the thing, like not, like you always know how it is in the business. You know what I mean? Like I've been in the business for so long, again, like I know how people roll sometimes. And I think that's why I feel like I have to focus on me, what I want to do for me and what I can do for me.
And you're so really seasoned too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even some of the people that you think like, okay, they such you probably lapped them in years and wisdom and you know what I'm saying?
Success.
Like success for real.
Yeah.
Good Lord,
Do you
have
feel
mercy.
that there's a difference between...
And especially, and now it's like social media. Just tell you who you have to be, who you are. And sometimes even my fans tell me, Ag, that's not you. Like,
Damn.
How do you know?
Exactly.
Right.
What?
Don't do that. Get away from there.
Don't do that. Like that's
Grow your
not
hair
you.
back.
Eat your vegetables.
Don't do that type of music, for example. Oh, don't do that genre because that's not you. And I'm like, do you know what type of music I've been listening to? Like I grew up singing at church. Like gospel music influenced me a lot. The first, I think, other than listening to Kirk Franklin, Israel Houghton, and all those
Wow, that's
gospel
amazing.
artists. I listened to the first R&B album that I listened to was Brandy's 1994 album.
That's awesome.
And it's like it changed my life. And so like, who are you to tell me that I can't do this genre just because of how I look like?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because I'm from Indonesia, then you want me to do Indonesian traditional songs? Like I'm not that.
Right. Did you
know what I
ever?
mean? Absolutely.
Okay.
And I try to infuse some of
Right,
those
right, right.
traditional, traditional culture into even the music video with Chris. Like I did a little dance where it was a little, Indonesian traditional dance.
He probably like that too.
He's like, ooh,
Yeah. He was like, oh.
I like it. International thing.
And then he
over
started
here.
doing it too. He always want to battle. He always in a battle. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, I could dance.
Like even
that.
with Coke bottle, right?
Yeah.
Because there's like traditional dance, there are things like that. And then we just kind of...
Uh-oh. Go ahead now. Swag it out a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Do they get mad though? Will people get mad? Like, hey, don't be swagging out. You know what I'm saying? Keep your hands like
wrong.
this. Like, don't,
Stop
don't,
touching.
hey.
It's like, once your face becomes ugly, that's when you know, right?
Right, yeah.
It's like,
Well, I've been swagging my whole life then. Look, I'm swagging now.
Don't.
You're out there phasing into it.
You're
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you, man.
I'm the swaggiest.
That was
handsome.
swag.
See, when she said your face is ugly, I'm awesome. Well, F it, I'm swagged out. The new video, of course, new single is Chris Brown, you and Chris Brown, Overdose. Alrighty. What's going down album-wise? What's cracking?
So, I basically recorded 50 to 60 songs before I had that project going on with Chris. And we also have recorded over 10 to 12 songs with Chris.
Oh, wow.
So we pretty much have everything, done. My album, my solo album, and the duet project.
Will you do 2019?
Possibly like February, I would say. Around Valentine's Day, I really want to have like one solo single out
I
by
heard that.
then. You know what I mean? And then after that, the album coming out probably around summertime.
Is
Do you have a
it yeah? Go,
Do you
is
have the
it
name of the album yet?
No, not yet.
So are you just telling us that? Like you actually do
Yeah, I
have
think
it,
you're
but you don't
lying
want to
to
say
us.
nothing?
I do
What-
have it,
are
but
you
I'm
gonna-
not telling.
really?
What about
At
any
least you told us
features?
though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you go to the Breakfast Club and tell them I day in Italian,
Yup.
gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
I am.
All right, and just
And I'm gonna
just-
steal your boots
just-
while I'm at it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
really cute.
So,
Yep.
but you got the name of the
Get it
album.
twisted.
If
Yeah.
we guess the name of the album, will you tell us?
Sure.
Hands on head. No, I thought she was giving me a sign. I
No,
thought
no,
she was
no,
like,
no. It's,
my
it's
bad.
my beanie.
My beanie,
No.
my beanie,
I
my
made
beanie,
it.
baby. No, not my beanie, baby. No,
Necktie.
necktie. you doing a duet with that dude with that big ass neck? You know what I'm saying? He got a whole group in there.
I got jokes.
You know what I'm
Duet.
saying? He's singing falsetto and bass at the same every time.
Imagine how big his vocal cords are.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You
man.
got like
never
multiple
find.
vocal cords
Hell
right there.
yeah. He's singing lead and background with that big ass neck. Google him, please, you guys. Please. We trying to get in touch with his next of kin to see if he can come in and do,
Stop it.
and do the show with us. Alrighty. So, but you do have the album title.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And would that be the album title you think, or it's still in progress?
It's still in progress.
Okay.
Yeah. we do have the title for the duet album too.
With you and Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
So
just
you're
hit
gonna
up
give us
Chris.
that? You're gonna give us anything?
Exactly.
I'll just hit up
Yeah,
Chris. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I don't need you to tell me. You know what I'm saying? I go straight to
Tell her,
Chris. You know how
babe.
Chris is. You get him a little drunk. You know what I'm saying? Blow something in his face. He gonna start saying everything. What you about to say, my love?
What about any other features on your actual album?
Well, she got 50, 60 songs. Good Lord.
Yeah. We'll we're still working on it. We got Wisin, we got Luda there too. But right now, I just want to put out something that's just me. my
Okay.
music, because I've done the collab with Tim, with T.I., and with Chris. I just feel like it's time for me to
Be you,
show up.
get out there on your own
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to know the name of the album, but since you're not cool with us like that.
Right. I thought we were like
You know
super
what I'm
cool with
saying?
her.
Again, you came in, you was like, oh,
Yeah,
let's
she's
what's
all
up,
nice.
Unc? What's happening, Unc? What's going on? Anything? I'm
I don't
here. I'm
know.
an open book.
What do you think? What do you think should be my album title?
Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be dope as hell?
I second that.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead now.
Amo and the Big Boy.
I like that.
It's
That
crazy.
goes.
I would rather go Big Boy's Neighborhood, but if it is your project, we put Amo
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
first.
Yeah, we put Amo first. You know. Now, are you in competition with yourself though? And when I say competition, are you in a position where it's like man, like you put a lot of are you putting pressure on yourself with your own project?
I mean, it just kind of happens. You know what I mean? Like the pressure and the responsibility will always be there.
Yeah.
Especially because when I got here, and then now that I'm charting, I realize it more that this is bigger than just myself. Like this is bigger than the music. This is for my country as well. This is for the people who's been watching and then waiting for me to actually make it happen. And it's for my fans. So absolutely,
You've been making music for so long, and I'm sure there's been, different journeys that you've had in your life, different layers you've already had to pull back.
Yeah.
How do you go this time around and give us something that no one else has seen, but also it's an introduction?
I always think that my music is a form of diary. Like it might be, it might be ugly, but at least it's my truth, and I've always believed that. And especially when I moved out here, people constantly pressured me for, oh, this is not you. Like what I said, what I said before. Like, this is not you, Ag. Like, why are you doing this? And then I just, at one point, I was just like, you know what? Let me just do me.
Yeah.
I want to be real. And yes, it's taken me longer because every time, like, I went into a meeting and people will, oh, but you're Asian. Like, why are you doing this type of music? Oh, you need to be more like this. It's always been like, oh, you're too thin for this. Oh, no, you're too Asian.
It's
for
always
this.
something.
There's always something, and especially when English is not your first language, it's kind of like, oh, but what if like there's always this worries coming from
other people, though.
Other people, absolutely. But then that's when I actually become more convinced that I should do me. You know what I mean? Because I would never be able to satisfy everybody.
And with a country of influence or business of influence, social media influence,
Absolutely.
it's hard to kind of break away from that.
Oh,
where you do have
absolutely.
to just say, you know what, let me shut down and let me do what I do.
Absolutely. And
Because
that's
if you
the
would have
reason
been
why-
gun shy your whole life,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't have what you have already.
Absolutely. Because every time they always want me to do, oh, well, let's do more pop ag, let's do more pop dance, because that's where you're supposed to be at. And I'm like, wait, like, why are you putting me in your boxes though? Because I'm not in anybody's boxes. Like, I'm here to move the boxes. You know what I mean? Like, I know me. Like, I don't want to be put in your categories. Like, I'm just doing me. I'm just
Everybody
doing
think they
Agnes
know what's right
Musan.
for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows what's right for you.
And then now that I'm actually, I can back it up and I actually say, hey, by the way, I'm charting on both rhythmic and urban formats. Then I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have this leverage for me to tell
But then
them
you're going to
that-
get all the I knew it's. You
Oh,
know?
for sure.
I knew it.
Oh, absolutely.
I told you.
It's always like
I
that.
told you.
I've always rooted for her.
Yeah, I'm glad we stepped out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we go way back. Right?
Yeah.
It's always like,
man,
we
I'm
go
the one
way
who
back.
told
It's
her
like,
to do a little more R&B and get a little more.
Absolutely.
I think it's really great though too, because we saw just even and not to put like everyone in a box like you said,
Yeah.
but like there's a really great movement of people seen more representation within music and with movies, and we got to see it with, you know, people going out and going to see Black Panther and making sure the numbers are right. When, you know, Crazy Rich Asians came out, you know, and celebrating Constant Wu. And now there's going to be someone else that's out here in the States that's going to see you and say, like, she looks like me, or she's my, you know, I'm Indonesian too, but I live here. And now they're going to want to champion you.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I said that this is bigger than myself.
Yeah.
You know, this is bigger than the music.
And everybody do want to put people in a box, man.
All the time.
And we get it. I'm pretty, you know, and especially if you dreaming big where people don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like people want you to just stop dreaming.
But you shouldn't understand your dream, though.
Right,
like, if you think about it, you know what I mean? It should be big enough that you can't even comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's when you know it's the real thing. When it's scary.
Yeah. And see, that's good for some. I like keep a mind on you know, like
On a lower
achievable, attain. You know, I could put my hands on it.
I want it right there.
Yeah, you know.
But I mean, look at you. Like, you make a difference to
Oh,
everybody.
I thought you was about to clown me. She was like, look at you. She was like, of course you're going to stay in radio.
It's like, you know, you got your, like, I've been following your, you know, watching you and all that.
You notice she's not finishing anything.
She's like watching you,
You know what I mean?
now here.
She looking around the neighborhood for my name. She like,
What's his name again?
I know he knows.
No,
Snoop,
you
'cause
real
he's a
92.3.
I see a picture with you and Chris. Like, I know Chris, you know, I see you in game. Like, man, that's crazy. Everybody know you, fat boy.
Stop it.
That is crazy. Yeah, man.
Fat
Fat
boy
boy
in
in
the
the mornings. I
You
had
are
to
a
come
legend,
here.
though.
Yeah, I am.
You know that.
Yeah. Without
Absolutely.
being braggadocious, yeah.
Yeah, legendary
And
status.
sometimes when you say legend, sometimes it doesn't sound right. You know, you want it in all capital letters. You know what I'm saying? Legend, legendary.
Legendary.
You know, you hear it, but I don't like to say it. You say it.
Legendary.
Thank you so much.
baby.
I'm like, come on, man.
Iconic.
You know what I'm saying?
Capital L.
Yeah,
Actually, you know
man.
what? Caps all the way around.
Yeah, capital letters all the way
Bold.
through. But you know what? Thank you for coming into the neighborhood. It should have been
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to just sit with me. You know, I know people are gonna like, man, Big, how do I get in? You know what I'm saying? Wait your turn. You know what I'm saying?
No, but thank you so much
No, it's our pleasure, my love.
for accepting me. You know what I mean?
And
'Cause
I thank you for coming in and sitting down with us,
Yes,
you know,
thank
and
you.
just knowing what I know and then looking at a backstory and being able to be whatever we can be in the next part of this journey.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not a chapter, the next book that you're writing, I love to see where this is going to go. And it's only going to go right because what you're putting into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
It's
And you
always
are,
about the
it's
effort.
written.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think you're afraid of hard work.
Definitely
You know what I'm
not.
saying? I don't think. And the one thing also is I think people really don't understand how much work you've put in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why when we came out and I did ask you about Chris, I wanted to get that out the way because it's not just about a relationship or who you recording with or who, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or oh, that's old girl with, because you already built a legacy that you
Absolutely.
continue to
Absolutely.
build
like
on.
in Asia, I've won over 170 awards.
Yes.
You know what I
That's
mean? And like
crazy, man.
I've built my craft. I've built
Mm-hmm.
my art. You know what I mean? And I've always wanted to focus on my art and not about the hype. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the social media is cool, and that's always, you know, that's something that I always want to remind my listeners, my fans, that when you know exactly what you want, like just focus on that. Like don't focus on what people are telling you, who you should be, or like, you know, because you'll never satisfy anybody.
If that was the case, I wouldn't be married right now. You know what I'm saying? I focused on my wife. I was like, I'm going to get that. And all the homies were like, no, you're not. I was like, "Pfft, got her. You know what I'm saying?
Now
She at
what?
the house right now. Veto, I'm coming home.
Hey.
What up? Her? Tell you what. Get your trainer out. I'm coming home. All righty, Agnez Mo, thank you for coming into the
you.
neighborhood.
Thank you.
All righty, and whenever you want to come back, please come back. Don't come
Absolutely.
empty-handed like you were today.
Yes, please.
Bear gifts and breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Agnez Mo in the neighborhood, Big Boy's
Big Boy.
neighborhood.